Oh my goodness, where do I even start? Alright, first of all, Patrick Beverley has been waiting for this smoke. Ever since that day in Summer League in Vegas where he wouldn't look LeBron James in his eye, I swear to you right after that, he climbed in that same chamber, that meditation chamber that Deborah hopped in. That's where Beverley has been since that day. That man had more energy last night than an Energizer Bunny on crack. I am convinced that man sleeps with his eyes open and his black Air Force Ones on. He just never chills, and that's what makes it so crazy that he's on the same team on the defensive end as Kawhi Leonard and eventually Paul George. Lakers Clippers part 1. Clippers take part 1, no Paul George. They were in control of the game pretty much after the first quarter, and that was surprising because when the game started, it really looked like pretty much a varsity team scrimmaging with JV because the Lakers were so damn big. We already knew that coming in. We were like, how are the Clippers going to deal with Anthony Davis? You got JaMychal Green down there, Patrick Patterson, Montrezl Harrell, who is crazy with the energy, and his defensive effort is great, but size is a thing. And so the Lakers with their front court of AD then being able to put McGee and Dwight Howard in, that was causing some trouble early on. But eventually the Clippers' physicality just won out, amongst a lot of other things, right? See, the one place I do agree with the it's just one game crowd is that the Lakers have a long way to go. They're clearly going to be better than they were last night, specifically with LeBron and AD, because it kind of seemed like, the best way I could put it is they seem like somebody who was playing with the Lakers on 2K for the very first time. That's how the Lakers played last night. They tried so many post-ups with Anthony Davis. They were, in the words of Coach Nick on Twitter, basically playing AD like it was the 90s. Because he had that size advantage, they just gave him the ball every time they could, as deep in the post as they could, let him post up, let him go to work, and he got his. He got his numbers. You know, the only problem is you can't post up enough to win a basketball game, not these days. On one hand, AD will definitely get his because he can shoot over any of the Clippers' big man defenders. He can take any of them to the rim. So he'll get his, but then you get to like the second half where the fact that the offense was kind of stagnant in the first, that starts to matter. Specifically, I think that affected LeBron James, who you saw had kind of an uncharacteristically quiet performance. Definitely not the LeBron we're used to seeing, but that's why I agree with the one game crowd, because now you see all these takes about, oh, LeBron James is washed. Now, some people are joking and some people are really looking forward to the man's demise because they're weird like that. I stand on the side of LeBron is now learning how to play. First of all, he hasn't played playoff basketball. That's really uncharacteristic for him. Might be just a little bit rusty, but I also think he's learning how to play with the best player he's ever played with. Because like we said in the Lakers preview, like I said in the Western Conference predictions, I think that the Lakers are going to be playing through AD most of the season to preserve LeBron as much as they can. So they're trying to figure out that balance because they went to AD so much last night, and with LeBron at point guard a lot of the time, I think it stagnated his game. It's just something that he's not really used to. It's kind of like back in the Miami Heat days where LeBron and Wade playing together was a little bit weird at first because of all the deferring that was going on. So that's just a dynamic that is going to need to be figured out. Anthony Davis went and said after the game that they're both used to being so aggressive that sometimes they just missed each other. He missed LeBron, LeBron missed him. That's something that's going to get better throughout the season. That's a matter of reps to me. But the way that the Clippers overcame the size problem, because you probably wonder, like, if they're so undersized, then why couldn't you just post them up all game and make defense collapse? Why wouldn't that work? It's because they're such damn good defenders. They know their rotations, they're very physical. And so by the end, it seemed like they were kind of compromising, and you saw Avery Bradley getting some open shots, Troy Daniels, which you would live with. Anybody but Danny Green, right? Danny Green, all the shots that he missed in the playoffs, it was like latent. They all just dropped tonight. It was like some type of lag. I'll tell you what I also found pretty interesting on the defensive end. We know the LeBron at point guard scheme. That's something that I talked about during the preseason, the summer, and it's something I wanted to see the Lakers do because I disagree with Charles Barkley. He says he doesn't like it, that it's not going to work. Again, that's something that I think is just going to take time for them to figure out. I don't think they just give up on that because for a lot of teams, it's going to work in creating mismatches and making them uncomfortable. For a lot of them, that is going to be tough to hang with in transition, so I don't think you just ditch LeBron at PG after one game, especially not against the Clippers because, again, they got the tycoon, Patrick Beverley. They don't have Paul George this game, so obviously they weren't able to just continuously switch between Kawhi and PG and whoever else on LeBron. Instead, with LeBron at PG, they let Patrick Beverley, despite the size difference, they let him get on LeBron sometimes. And to me, it seems like Patrick Beverley is probably going to be one of the best challenges that he will see, because a lot of teams are just going to, they're going to switch, and they're going to switch up the defensive scheme. They're going to have their point guard somebody else most of the game, and that's going to put them at a disadvantage. But if the Clippers, for as many plays as they can, if they can get away with having Beverley there and trying to disrupt, because that's what he does. He knows he's smaller, but he's putting all his energy towards that one task, because clearly they don't really need him on offense. But that right there gives them an advantage that no other team really has against them, especially because they can keep a guy like Kawhi or PG out of foul trouble if they don't have to have so many possessions where they're guarding LeBron. Now, when it does get like that, it's kind of just like hold your own as long as you can, because clearly I think in a later game where LeBron has it more figured out, I don't think he's going to fly with someone that much smaller than him on the defensive end. I think he'll probably be more aggressive later in the year. I think you'll see more post-ups with him. But again, last night, it was kind of like they really just wanted to try and see how much of a game they could win with Anthony Davis. And when you got to the second quarter and the Clippers defense really hunkered down, they really had no scheme except Danny Green. If his shots weren't falling, it might have turned into a blowout. Now, where I don't agree with the it's only one game crowd is I think the Clippers are just better, and that's not my one game analysis. I already told you if I had to pick a champion, it would be them. You saw the predictions video, you saw my season preview with them. I think the Clippers are better. I think they're deeper. I think they're going to be the best defensive team in the league, and both of those notions were pretty much supported by the game last night. The Lakers bench pretty much got killed. How much did the Clippers outscore them by? Okay, check this out. Lakers bench 19, Clippers 60. So yeah, that's obviously spearheaded by Lou Williams. JaMychal Green did an amazing job spreading the floor. Then you got Montrezl Harrell. Like, you got three guys that could pretty much start if they needed to coming off the Clippers bench the way it was last night. Landry Shamet hit 26 and he was starting at shooting guard. He's probably not going to start when Paul George comes back. There's going to be another guy on their bench. Yeah, so I haven't changed, right? One game did not change me. I thought the Clippers were better from the jump. And so everything that happened last night was just kind of in line with that. If you were in my Twitch streams, you saw that I thought the Clippers were going to win regardless. That is who I called for my games. I called the Raptors and the Clippers. And yeah, it's just scary because on both the offensive and defensive end, they're going to be even better when they get Paul George back. So you had Kawhi Leonard last night just pick up right where he left off. 30 points, shot 52%, and it was literally like, it's exactly what happened. Take the Toronto jersey off, slip the Clippers jersey on, continue to play. That's how the program executed, and there's just really not one player that can stop him. Dribble pull-ups, getting to the spots that he wants to, and I'm only reciting you his game because he did that on the floor last night without Paul George. He did that on the floor where he was in the starting lineup, the only guy you would say is going to be creating off the dribble, but then of course you play him on the floor sometimes with Lou Williams and JaMychal Green. They provide some spacing. Now throw Paul George into that. Just throw his gravity into it, because I know it doesn't always just work that you throw stars together and it just works, right? Well, first of all, they're going to play beautifully off of each other. I think their games mesh very well. But just think about what you saw last night and imagine adding Paul George on top of that. So some team is going to have to worry about how they stop Kawhi Leonard, which, pro tip, they can't. Then they're going to have to worry about Paul George floating off of screens or whatever on the other side of the floor. Fucking madness. Then on the defensive end, again, the Clippers got it together and they were able to disrupt without a top defender on the floor. And so in an instance like last night, they're going to have even more options. They're gonna clearly try. I mean, I thought they were doing it out of necessity, but sometimes it seems like they will live with Patrick Beverley on LeBron and then they let him have some Kawhi. And then when PG gets back, they're gonna have PG guarding him sometimes too. That is the luxury that this team has when they are healthy. So that's why a very common take that I saw last night, because I thought about doing a Twitter police, but I'd rather just talk about the game. Anyways, I was looking through takes and of course the thing comes out, people had to rub it in and they had to mention Paul George wasn't playing last night, and then people's counter was that, well, Kuzma wasn't playing. Alright, one of those things is not like the other. Let's just keep it real. The Lakers are going to get better than they were last night. I don't think last night again just looked like a first game for them. Clearly having Kuzma on the floor is going to help, because it seemed at a point when LeBron and AD weren't going, they needed somebody else who could get their shot off, and Kuzma is definitely there. Somebody aside from just Danny Green. Are you really gonna depend on 18-point Danny Green 3/4 every night? I doubt it. You're gonna need somebody else to help the offense move along, so Kuzma will help with that, but I think what the Clippers were missing is more significant, and I think that they're already further along in where they want to be than the Lakers are. So it's just round one, and it was amazing. The game itself, I'll tell you, the energy there, I would have loved to be there. The energy in that crowd from the start, it was like one of those high school ballers life games. Every time something happened, people were just ready to jump out of their seat. The energy on the floor from the players, specifically Patrick Beverley and Montrezl Harrell. LeBron James after the slam looking down Lou Williams. Oh my goodness, I was like, give me this for 82 games and then give me a 7-game playoff series. Please, please, please. That was really unlike any other regular season game and unlike any other Battle of LA matchup we've ever seen. And like I said, I told you, Clippers had CP3 and Blake Griffin and the Lakers had Kobe and Gasol. It was not the same as this because we weren't looking at two favorites back then. This has the makings of something great. And as I was watching Kawhi go to work, I was just thanking the basketball gods that they did not let us suffer through a big three with Kawhi, AD, and LeBron, because I think it'll get lost how close that was to probably happening. The fact that we were almost expecting it, and man, they might have gone 82-0. They really might have gone 82-0 because there would have been at least 2 players on that floor you could never guard at all time, probably 3. Oh, I'm so happy he decided to be competitive. So yeah, that is game numero uno. Shout out to NBA TV for having our backs when Norman Powell decided that he wanted to be Damian Lillard last night, and as a consequence had the game go into overtime so that the Lakers and Clippers could not start immediately. I ditched that game so fast. Shout out to Siakam though. Mans is already earning his bag. So welcome to the 2020 NBA season. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the game last night, make sure to hit the like button, comment, and sub. Also be sure to hit the bell next to my name if you want notifications every time a video drops this season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.